Hello everybody, and welcome to the 5th round of the VTuber GT Championship here at the Hungarian. As always, in the booth here, it's me, Ruby Acosta, and alongside me is June Ravenmood. Say hello, June.
Hey,
So as we go to Hungarian, a very tricky track, what do you think is going to be the key to success here?
it's gotta be your qualifying position. This is a track that's infamous for its difficulty to overtake on in open wheel machinery, and while GT cars are a good bit more robust than their open wheel counterparts, it's still not easy to get the job done here. So, if you start down the order, oh boy, you've got a long day ahead of you.
Definitely, and especially coming into Sector 2, there's just a lot of sort of single-file sectors in this racetrack, but especially the entirety of Sector 2, if you're gonna be fast, you're gonna have to keep on the racing line there, and so that's gonna be a huge test of might and skill, and sort of, I guess, patience really as well. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how our competitors here will take it as we come here today. So for the point standings, unfortunately, we do not have a graphic due to technical difficulties. However, I can say it. I could say the provisional team standings at the moment. Mirai X Uragoner is on top with 294 points. Mirai United VTuber Racing Team is up on top as in second, with 278 points. Lopen Pro Esports Team with 230 points. Kots Racing Team with 229 points. Wild Things X Who Wants a Soda with 217 points. Yandere Racing with 202 points. And Poto Motorsport with 180 points. Like, once again, sorry for no graphic at the moment. We do have some technical difficulties, but those are the team standings coming into 5th round.
It's looking to be a very close battle between Mirai Raganar and Mirai United, with with less than 20 points between them.
So as we get set for qualifying, a few things we do want to point out here. The top cars in qualifying at the moment, not in qualifying, in practice at the moment were Icer Ambra with a 143.610, Akito Suzugawa with a 143.865, and Yukari Kaguzaka with a 144.197. So we're going to see if this holds true for qualifying here today. But as we've seen before, sometimes there are a few surprises.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that Kaguzaka is not at the very pointy end of practice, though it's possible she's got plenty more pace to find around here.
As we get set here for qualifying, just a few moments until we get set for that session. June, what are your thoughts on this track overall, aside from what you've already said? I know that you've never driven on it before, but what do you think about what do you think about the racing it'll provide? What do you think about sort of the excitement, the speed, especially that it's going to be at nighttime? We've never really seen this track at night, other than tracc.eu. So I mean, we don't really see people racing on it nighttime in real life. So as we get qualifying going, but what do you think it's going to be key here?
Well, if it's a night race, you've got to get out in front because having all those lights behind you is just very distracting. I mean, personally, I love the atmosphere of night racing, but I'm not gonna lie and say that it doesn't really change much, because it does actually change quite a bit. The track temperatures drop compared to a daytime qualifying session. You know, you're fighting for that little bit of grip, but also it's a little easier to maintain the temperatures just because it's that little bit colder.
So now we're underway for qualifying with 20 minutes in the session. More than enough time to put in a good lap, however. Just like Misano last time out, You're going to be careful. You want to be careful not to get your laps invalidated, or else you're going to be starting way back. And starting 17 cars behind pole position is not a good recipe for a race win here. Especially, like we said time and time again, this track does not have many passing areas. There's only really passing areas maybe in turn 1 and defined a few corners of the last sector. Even then, that's going to be a really tough spot to overtake. As Amelia Anderson gets her tires warmed up here. Behind her is Kagura Mashiro and Succubus Racing.
Yeah, so Mashiro perhaps didn't have the best of rounds last time out, but I'm sure they'll have plenty of opportunities this time around.
Amelia Anderson is the first one to get her lap underway. We'll see if this lap is a good one. Coming down into turn 1, this is a very, very tricky corner already. It's basically an increasing radius, I want to say. The exit opens up, but at the same time, you don't want to go out too wide. Turn 2... Oh, actually, I don't know if this is turn 2 or turn 3. But this is basically the true turn 2 here. You want to keep it so tight here to the inside, not wash up, and then get ready for this next really fast right-hander downhill. And then from here on out, it's basically single file. We'll see how...
This track is super narrow. Kind of makes me wonder if this is a motorcycle racing track.
Here is the chicane. Amelia Anderson actually takes a lot of the first curb, not a lot of the second curb, which is pretty optimal for a good lap here. The second curb is definitely going to launch your car up in the sky if you hit it. And then this section here, it is just very high speed, and yet it's, even though there's a lot of runoff, it really does not feel like it. It feels like you're just on the verge of basically running off the track at full speed. So here we go. Amelia Anderson. Her first lap about to be posted. This probably won't be the one to end it all, but it's going to be a pretty good indication of where her pace is. It's going to be a 144.322. Pretty good lap, but she could probably find a bit more time there.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty clean lap for someone to bank in. I'd be pretty happy with that.
Burn Bunch, I believe, in a new livery. That looks like a lot like the livery that Psycho Kaiza has.
Have they partnered up recently, or have they always been part of this team?
I'm not quite sure, but I think Jordan Branch was always with Koneko Racing, so I guess it does count under that regard. As you see, Icer ABR has put in an up time of 144.920. Kaguzaka with a 144.347. So not exactly the fastest laps yet. However, that most of the drivers don't have their tires up to the optimal pressures, the optimal temperatures. So that is pretty. That's pretty much to be expected.
Yeah, from what I've heard, the optimal pressure is somewhere between 26 to 27 psi, and that doesn't build up instantly. I can tell you that much.
No, it definitely does not, though. There's a lot more wiggle room than there was a few months ago, so you can probably get in a better lap nowadays pretty quickly, but still, you're not going to get your best lap at the first time round. So, as you see, Icer ABR was up on their previous lap, but they just went off-road, so that's not going to be an improvement. Kagura Mashiro does have a better lap this time around. However, it is a 145.555. Not enough to challenge the top spot of Amelia Anderson. However, it's still fourth, but it is... We have 15 minutes left in the session, so there's still a lot to go.
Just gotta hunt those apexes.
Psycho Kaiza also in the Technoburst Koneko Racing car, matching with the one of Jordan Brunch. We'll see what Psycho Kaiza does here. It's always nice to see Lexuses on the grid. Panic Fungus actually is on the grid. I thought that Panic Fungus would not be here today, however, they have made an appearance, so that's very nice to see.
Well, hopefully they've managed to sort out their technical issues, and we will have the wonderful presence of this NSX on the grid.
I'll check a few more times on the grid here. Akito Suzugawa is one to watch here. Was really strong. Has really strong pace here in practice. So we'll see what happens here in qualifying. Akito Suzugawa, as we know, hasn't had the best of luck this season. I think this is the time to turn it around.
Looks like he's in a shiny new machine as well. I believe he was piloting the BMW M4 GT3 last time out. But he's switched into something definitely a lot more modern and sleek. I mean, not to say that the M4 isn't, just, you know.
We'll see if it fits him better as coming out of the final turn. He's 2 seconds up, on his previous best. However, he does not have a registered time yet. That's gonna be a top time of 144.252. So that 296 definitely doing favors for him.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me too much that he's doing very well so far. At least in terms of qualifying pace.
Blanca Ryuzaki and Akito's old car here. Let's see what Blani does. Blani's going to get a 146.512. It's going to put them in 7th place. Carl's the 14th, not in 14th. 12th, rather.
Very ill-fitting name for them, don't you think?
Traziani Integrale is in 14th with a 150.092. Hopefully Traziani fixed her internet problem so that she can finish the race this time around with no issues.
Yeah, Traziani has not had the season she's wanted at all. Like, Nogaro was a huge opportunity for her to really make up for the previous few races, and unfortunately it just did not pan out.
We'll see Amelia Anderson here in the driver 69 car. Was about to improve on her lap. It's going to be very close here. I don't think it's going to be better than Akito's lap. Not quite, I want to say. No, it's very close though, as Akito Suzugawa puts on his best time, the first sub-44 lap.
Ooh, he's got some serious pace in that machine. I wonder if the Ferrari is a specialist for this kind of track. I've heard that its downforce is equal to, if not in excess of, what the cars like the 720S can do.
Blani is gonna post a 145.502. That's gonna put them in 6th place. Good showing for this driver, especially over the course of the few weeks. Definitely a very consistent driver, as I've said before. Lots of praise for Blani.
Yeah, all it really takes is for the front runners to get a little too aggressive, get their elbows out a bit too much, and you never know. You know, Ryuzaki could very much take a podium here today.
Icer Ambra, the number 93 Daiwa Scarlet car. We'll see what they're up to. Pretty good lap here so far. Though they are catching up to, I believe, one of the Technoburst Lexuses. I'm not sure which car that is, whether that is Jordan Brunch or Psycho Kaisa. It looks to be Jordan Brunch. Jordan Brunch moves over.
Looking good so far.
This is going to be a pretty good lap here. It is 144.122. Icer Ambra with a great qualifying form this season.
Yeah, pace is definitely not their weakness, and they've made that Porsche consistently quick. Now, if they can keep their nose clean, I think they'll be on track for a great result here. And I think on a track like this, it'll be to their benefit to qualify towards the front row.
I definitely think that Icer Ambra is going to be one of the drivers that will definitely surprise us today. Though they have a few... Oh, that's Panic Fungus spinning off. But I think Icer Ambra is definitely going to have a outstanding performance here today. I think they are due to have a pretty good result. They've been on the podium, I believe, a few times, so they definitely want to challenge for the win. As Akito Suzugawa is going even faster now. Well, we'll stick on him for now.
I mean, he's still the only driver so far to be under that 1:44 barrier, so to say that he's going to be going even faster, ooh, I'd be a little concerned if I were the top four right now, the rest of the top four right now.
The rest of the grid as so far, that is Aaron Vogel, Juan Ryuzaki, Kagura Mashiro, Jin Knight, Psycho Kaiza, Jordan Brunch, Poofy Pillow, David Katse, Carlos the 14th, Panic Fungus, Ryuma Tatsuyama, Trazione Integrale, and Wyatt Natus are the ones that have set a time. The ones that have not set a time yet are Kizada, aka Ahmed Imran, Shensoi, and iMetrix VTuber. As we are still here, as we've missed Amelia Anderson put on another great lap of a 143.985. These 296s are very strong here, as Akito Suzugawa looks like he has gotten off track somewhere. We'll keep track of Akito here. We're gonna, because this is, I think, going to be the biggest storyline today.
Yeah, Amelia Anderson was very strong last time out, so to have a track where this car is at its element with a driver in their element, you know, it's going to be very tough to beat that time, I think.
Actually, we'll go back to Akito in a minute, as Akito looks like he has messed up that lap a bit, as Amelia Anderson's going even quicker, 4/10 up actually from her best.
Oh geez, that is some time attack and pace right there.
Amelia Anderson is absolutely flying, coming out of his penultimate corner, about to come into the final corner here. Still keeping up that amazing pace of hers. No cars in front at the moment. We'll see what the time is here. Ooh, this is going to be a really good one. A 143.497. That's an absolutely blazing lap from the Swedish driver.
Whew. Yeah, no kidding.
Kagura wants to break into that 143, sub 144 barrier, but she's not going to be able to do it. She lost a lot of time in that third sector, as we have only 5 minutes to go. Aaron Vogel is another driver that has a really good improvement here. Let's see if they're able to keep it up in the Ragnar X Mirai United VTuber Racing Team McLaren. Their teammate, as I've said before, Frankie Nguyen, is not present today due to hardware issues, so Lithium Fox is going to be the one to hold the banner.
This is a pretty good qualifying result so far for Vogel, but I'm sure they're going to want to be even further up on the grid.
It's getting out of this penultimate corner into this final right-hander. Ooh, looks like they have gone a little wide. Maybe not, actually. They've gained that time back. We'll see where that lands them. That might be... No, not enough for a position improvement, but that's going to be a best lap for them either way, a 145.040. So maybe just under the 445 barrier for them. But as for Amelia Anderson, she's the only one that is within the 43.5 range. Not even Akito Suzugawa is able to reach that.
we're probably gonna have to look at that front splitter in the post-tech inspection, I think. Kidding.
Amelia Anderson is an electrician, not an engineer. Well, I mean, electrician basically an electrical engineer, but not a sort of like
An aerodynamicist.
yes. So I guess you could sort of modify a chassis control system. I don't know how much you could, but anyways, Akito Suzukawa looks like this will not be an improvement, at least so far. Maybe if by some miracle he is able to sort of improve on this final turn and gain, well, actually he's gained a few tenths back, though it is not going to be enough for a best lap here. We'll look at the rest of the grid to see if there's any more time set. Not really. There's only Yukari Kagutizaka trying to set her best personal best. Not as far up as she would like to be, however, still improving on her personal best, and might be able to jump Iser Ambra in that Porsche.
I wonder if Kagurazaka struggles on these tighter, more technical tracks, because she wasn't having a good time of it at Nagara last time around.
I believe you mean to say Misano?
Misano.
They sort of are kind of similar, in a way. But yeah, that is a good theory. That is a pretty plausible theory because Kagurazaka was really dominant at Zolder. Kagurazaka was actually, I'm not sure, but maybe just these specific set of tracks that we've been to just are not within her sort of strong points. So I don't know if it's to do with these height circuits or whether it's high speed or the certain like set of corners, but maybe just like, there's just like, as a driver you just have your really weak tracks. Like you have your strong tracks, your weak tracks. Maybe Snetterton, Zolder were Yukari's really, really strong tracks, and we're just at a point where we're finding out her weak points here.
And this isn't to say that she's still not a very strong driver. I mean, she definitely is. I would not want to be having her in my rearview cameras. But it's clear that that she's not quite as perhaps invincible as we initially made her out to be.
I believe that was Jin Knight stopped in the middle of the road, and Yukari had to abort that qualifying lap. It wasn't going to be very fast. I mean, not very fast. It wasn't going to be improvement, but Yukari probably very, very frustrated about that.
Yeah, someone's going to have to look into that. I'm not sure parking in the middle of the track is the best of places.
Yeah, that is going to be definitely looked at, stewards, because the stewards don't look at just the race session. They look at a lot of other sessions too, such as qualifying, and qualifying can be really, really important. So if somebody really messes up somebody else's qualifying session, that might come to reason as for a penalty. See, Iser ABR might be able to set a sub 144 here, up 4 tenths, right at the dying moments of qualifying. That's going to be a 143.772. Iser ABR is going to start on the front row alongside Amelia Anderson.
That was a fantastic improvement. That's exactly what they wanted.
The only other car setting a lap here is David Rautakatse. However, David has invalidated their lap, so that's going to be all for naught. Panay Fungus, the only one on track. Actually, no, I lied. Wyatt Natus is also improving on their lap. 16th place for them. I mentioned VTuber invalidated their lap, unfortunately. Hizeta, aka Ahmed Imran, also improving on their lap. They are struggling today at this track. Maybe something that they have not practiced or never been to, but they are on his fast lap at least. We'll see what Ahmed does here. Chen Soy has not set a battle lap, so Chen Soy will be starting at the back of the grid, unfortunately, as Imran goes a little wide there. So they are improving. That's going to be a 153. So finally, as we get set for the race here, it's going to be dark as we see. So let's go through the qualifying order before the race today here at Hungaroring. So starting off, pole position on the right side is going to be Millie Anderson in that to number 29, driver 69, Ferrari 296. Alongside her, Iser ABR in the number 93 Porsche. Third position goes to Akito Suzagawa in the number 56 Rai United VTuber Racing Team Ferrari. Yukari Kaguzaka in the number 7 car in fourth position. Aaron Vogel in the fifth position. Sixth is Saiko Kaiza. Seventh is Blanc Ryuzaki. Eighth is Kagura Mashiro. Ninth is Jin Knight. 10th is Jordan Brunch. 11th is Poofy Pillow. 12th is David Raub Katse. 13th, just one position off of 14th again, is Charles the 14th. 14th is Panic Fungus, sort of taking Charles' spot. Ryoma Tateyama in 15th. Wyatt Nadis in 16th. Zione Integrale in 17th. iMetrix VTuber in 18th. Amin Imran in 19th. And Chen Soy in 20th. So, as we get ready to go here for this 1 hour race along a really dark Hungaroring, turn 1 is going to be a choke point.
30 seconds.
Yeah, the drivers are also going to have to be very wary of the lesser visibility in these nighttime conditions.
This pace lap here. So, turn 1, we've seen in real life before. We've seen Formula 1, some shenanigans happen in Formula 1. So, to do this at night with around the same amount of drivers, it's going to be entertaining to say the least.
Well, we can only hope that these pilots keep their heads on a swivel, because turn 1, with reduced visibility, into a plunging downhill, increasing radius, that's not going to be easy to manage. There's a lot of variables you need to keep in mind when you're managing the opposition around you. It's kind of like, it's actually a lot like Fuji turn 1, but with a much shorter run-up. For those of you who tune into championships like Super GT, for example.
Also different from Fuji is that it is a much steeper decline. It's basically a much sharper, much shorter turn 1. So it's a lot more punishing. Even though that Fuji, you're going much faster. I mean, to me, Hungaroring turn 1 is much more punishing, much more unforgiving.
Yeah, I can see why if you have it off there, it's probably not going to end well, if I'm being entirely honest.
Few drivers will start with from the pits. I don't know if this is by choice or if this is by mistake. Ryuma Tateyama is starting from the pits, and Chen Soy is going to be starting from the pits as well in that new Evo Lamborghini model. So we're gonna keep track of where they end up in the race. But those two drivers will be starting from the pits, maybe intentionally, because they see they're sort of predicting what's going to happen at turn 1, especially at night. They're probably a lot less optimistic than we are.
I mean, we have had a few turn 1 incidents these last couple of rounds, but I think it wouldn't be such a bad idea to put a little more trust in these drivers. Of course, famous last words, and I'm probably going to get clipped for that, but I like to be a bit more optimistic than usual on commentary. You get what I mean?
I definitely get what you mean. Well, we're gonna go double file soon here, so that means the race is about to start. So once again, Millie Anderson on the front row. Alongside her is Iser ABR. We also have Akito Suzugawa behind Millie Anderson, and Yukari Kaguzaka behind Iser ABR. So a really, really strong top 4. Basically been the top 4 for the entire season. So we're gonna see if it stays that way coming into turn 1. So hold on to your seats. Hold on to your butts.
I mean, Aaron Vogel and Saika Kaiser are just outside, looming menacingly.
We're almost there. Very slow crawl to 70 kilometers an hour. Amelia Anderson keeping her wits about her, as she probably will have to, as the green light comes out. Tracc.eu gets a drive-through, but we're going to keep an eye here onto the turn 1. We'll see what happens here. Amelia Anderson into the inside. Icer ABR still on the outside, though. Looks like Amelia Anderson will get the better of Icer ABR, keeping her top spot here, as everybody gets through relatively cleanly there. I think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so. The back half is looking really messy.
A lot of drivers.
What's happened there?
A lot of drivers involved in that one. Fortunately, that is Panic Fungus. That is actually that's a lot of drivers to keep track of that have been in that incident. As we see at the moment now, Kagura Mashiro actually got into an incident with Poopy Pillow. So that's another set of drivers that got into an accident there. We'll see here, as there was definitely some bit of contact between the top few drivers here. Well, we'll keep an eye on Kagura Mashiro here, as Kagura Mashiro actually got spun around by Jin Knight. I don't know what happened to Poopy Pillow. Poopy Pillow actually got into... Poopy Pillow was actually a separate incident.
Yeah, this was a very, very messy start, unfortunately. Oof, you hate to see it.
You really hate to see it, as Millie Anderson commands the front of the grid. However, we see Akito Suzugawa and Yukari Kaguzaka battling for the 4th position, actually the 3rd position. The timing is sort of messing up here. But yes, that is for the 3rd position here. Millie Anderson going as she intends to, as Ryoma Tateyama is back in the pits. I'm not sure why.
Oh, I hope it's not for anything technical. It's otherwise it looks like that car might be retiring soon.
We'll keep an eye on this battle once again. Aaron Vogel also hunting there. Lithium Fox on the hunt.
Yep, that Fox is on the prowl.
But Amelia Anderson has already built up a 2-second gap, so that is already a pretty commanding lead from the Swedish driver. The race winner from last time in Mizano, already going once again. Looking like she wants to repeat that dominating streak.
I mean, there's 57 whole minutes left in this race. A lot could happen, and stranger things have happened in this series.
Speaking about things, well, not exactly strange, but maybe exciting, Akito Suzugawa is right on the back of Kagurizaka. These two are definitely a match for each other. In pace and in skill, we'll see who comes out on top here.
Well, if it were up to me, I'd probably try to cooperate with Kagurizaka here if she's got the closing pace to get up to Iser Ambra. Because if they start fighting, that 2nd place is gonna start scuttling away too. And I'm sure these two would rather be able to be in contention for 2nd rather than 3rd.
Well, looking at the last lap times, look like Iser Ambra is doing a 144.767, Yukari Kaguzaka a 145.002, and Akito Suzugawa a 145.157 for the last lap. So I think Iser ABR might have a pace advantage here. So I think it's going to be a matter of just getting past Kaguzaka for a position and seeing what Akito can do to make sure that Iser ABR doesn't get away any faster.
This is true. Suzugawa did qualify in front of Kagurizaka, so it probably might be in their best interest to get in front of Kagura Zaka at the moment. Uh-oh. Kagura Mashiro is off track once more.
Ooh!
Oh, no!
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was for, as Mashiro looks like Mashiro got into the way too deep, cut the corner into that penultimate corner, cut the corner of that penultimate turn, and just got into one of the Porsches. I believe that was Charles the 14th. So, not sure if this race, this is a race that Mashiro wants to remember.
Yeah, it's gone from bad to worse, hasn't it?
The pit window opens, so plenty of time for people to get in their pit stop, the mandatory pit stop. However, it would be very interesting to see if people do it as early as right now. I definitely wouldn't, but that option is there, as we see Blonde Ryozaki on the back of Psycho Kaiza.
Well, these two were looking pretty even on pace when it came to qualifying, so it's going to be pretty difficult for Ryuzaki to close the gap here.
Just know the battle here between Panic Fungus in the 10th position. Great job so far. And Jin Knight in the 11th position. These two are battling for that 10th position as Jin Knight goes a bit too hot in that corner. So does Panic Fungus, however. So the gap stays the same. Jin Knight going around, going into the inside. Almost a block pass. Jin Knight might be going a bit too hot here as Panic Fungus nearly gets into the back of that 296.
Yeah, that was a... I wouldn't say that was an easy pass, but Panic Fungus did run off track, which could be potential for getting dinged by the stewards, whereas Jin Knight kept it on track the whole way through, so that might prove to be critical later on in the race.
We have another battle here between Poofy Pillow and iMetrix VTuber. I believe iMetrix VTuber is now in the McLaren. I don't know what's... I think that's a recent change, but either way, they are getting caught by Poofy Pillow.
Well, iMetrix probably doesn't want to get too snuggly with Poofy Pillow right about now, I have to say.
Kagura Mashiro also behind there. Mashiro looking to recover from a very, very nightmarish start, as we have a yellow flag. That is Ahmed Imran. We'll keep on this battle, however. This for the 14th spot is Kagura Mashiro. Another... Oh, that is a bit too aggressive.
Mashiro seem to have lost their patience. They're really trying to force the issue here, and I don't think this is the way to go about it. I think if you're in their position right now, you've just got to take the pit stop right now, clear your head, clear the track in front of you, and just hang on for dear life, because this is not going well at all at the moment.
And you have to choose your passing place as well, because I believe it's the second time that Mashiro has tried to pass at that penultimate corner, and, well, I mean, that corner's not exactly a prime passing spot. You have to really set up your pass, like, really specifically. You cannot dive bomb people there, because the way that, oh, Charles the 14th is around.
They're going to be dropping well below 14th after that incident.
We'll see how this happened here. Ooh, I think I know what happened here. A very easy spot to lose it over that crest. Especially in the Porsche.
And it looks like he's had some damage from previous incidents as well, so that's going to make it even more difficult to hang on.
The Jin Knights making even more progress. They're on the back of Deborah Katse.
And they have closed up rapidly. Look at the pace on that 298. Or is it a 296? Sorry.
296. Charles the 14th is around again. I don't know where Charles unfortunately I think has retired, but they have gone around. Fortunately, we cannot look at what happened since their car has exited the game, so we cannot see what happened. But it looks like Charles 14th has retired, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage on that machine. I'm not so sure I would have kept on it.
The Kagura Mashiro trying to gain back those spots right in the back of Poofy Pillow. Once again, you don't want to get too snuggly with Poofy Pillow, but at the same time, you don't want to force the issue, which is something that Kagura Mashiro has to learn, has to sort of put the brakes on, just take a step back and take a couple deep breaths and just, you know, you have 50 minutes left. There's still a lot of time to do what you need to do in this race.
There's Kagura Mashiro trying to go for a move up into turn 5, but that was not going to work out. And thankfully, they thought better of it.
Yeah, once again, they just really have to be patient. Really be careful here. This is not a turn you want to... Yikes! That's not a turn you want to make them move into. As they bump Poofy Pillow out the way.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a slam dunk for the stewards. You can't do that. I'm sorry, but you just can't.
Mashiro here trying to gain any time back as they try to get around iMagic's VTuber. The iMagic's VTuber. Whoa! What's happened there?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, what's going on here?
We'll take another look at it. Ooh, okay, looks like a racing incident, maybe. Looks like iMagic's VTuber got a bit loose, and Mashiro maybe had nowhere to go. We need a better angle, but, you know, that's not the first incident that Mashiro's got into, so the stewards will definitely be looking into it a bit more intensively than if nothing else happened before.
Yeah, that was a very unusual way to lose it, though. But I don't think I want to comment too much more on that.
Either way, Mashiro looking to climb up the order again, though they have Chensoi in their way. Chensoi started from the pits, now up to 14th, so a good result so far. Maybe starting from the pits was a good idea, judging from what we saw at turn 1, lap 1.
It's Chensoi doing a very good job to cover off Mashiro there, and now they're going into Sector 2, and it's gonna be very difficult for Mashiro to get a good pass through here.
Mashiro has to be patient. This is basically a single file sector here. As you see, Poofy Pillow is catching up to Wyatt Natus. Poofy Pillow having a pretty good race so far, actually, despite everything.
Yeah, I mean, they've managed to keep it on track so far, despite the incidents they've been involved in.
Poofy Pillow up to the back of Wyatt Natus. Natus in that 488. The previous gen Ferrari now.
Gosh, that makes me feel old.
The Four Rings versus the Prancing Horse coming into turn 1. We'll see if Poofy Pillow can make up any more time into the braking area. Maybe a little bit. Actually, a lot, A lot. That gap has closed up a tiny bit exiting turn 1 and coming into this second left-hander.
Looks like we might have a battle between Panic Fungus and David Rabkautse, just in front of them too. Looks like Panic Fungus is pulling away.
Wyatt Natus getting quickly caught by this Poofy Pillow. This Pillow can definitely drive as Wyatt Natus takes the inside a bit cleanly. Poofy Pillow was going in a bit too hot. Actually, no, Poofy Pillow was on the right, is flying. As they
Natus is about to get... Natus just got smothered with Poofy Pillow's presence there.
As Chensoi makes the move.
Dominant.
What's happened there with Natus? Mashiro's got around, Shensoi's got around. Ooh, Shensoi thought about a move on Puffy Pillow as well.
It looks like Imran is kind of, maybe not by intention, kind of just stuck in this awkward position, unable to let these other contenders through.
We'll see if Shensoi can make the move on Puffy Pillow. Imran is a lap down, or 2 laps down, rather, trying their best to stay out the way. But there's only so many places to go on this racetrack. That gap still stays the same, though it's closing just a tiny bit, with Shensoi right on the back of that number 38 Audi R8. Both cars with a V10 engine, the same engine, I believe.
But these machines could not look any more different from each other.
Definitely not.
And in their first iterations around 2015, 2016, they're actually surprisingly similar looking machines, but now they could not diverge further from each other.
Especially with that big air scoop, like what you would see in Need for Speed Underground.
Yeah, except I'm willing to bet that serves quite an important purpose. Also, it looks really cool, I have to say.
It does look very cool. As Kagura Macho is actually on the back of this battle as well. So they have caught up.
Looks like we may have a very good battle on our hands very soon.
Kagura Macho thinks about it going to the inside, though that is too far from Shensoi, so that's going to be no chance there. As Panic Fungus.
Panic Fungus is losing a lot of pace here.
This is a 4-way battle for, I believe, the 11th position.
Shensoi all over the back of Poofy Pillow now.
We'll see if Shensoi makes a move here. Looks like they are signaling it. Oh, Poofy Pillow goes a bit wide. So does Shensoi. They make contact.
That's unfortunate. That's gonna let Mashiro through without any contest whatsoever. I don't think you can really blame anybody for that, though. That just looks like a bit of a driving error from pretty much everyone involved in that.
Yeah, both Poofy Pillow and Shensoi went a bit wide there, as Mashiro now is chomping on the back of Panic Fungus.
That NSX is looking unbelievably slow, though. They've lost so much time. I have to wonder if they're suffering through a technical right now.
Cycleverse Racing sucking the life out of that number 69 car.
It's not going to be very nice for Panic Fungus. As I'm sure now they definitely will be panicking with the presence of that Lamborghini.
Panic Fungus went wide, though. They hold the position for now. Maybe not for long, however, as Poofy Pillow and Shensoi have caught up once again.
Mashiro's got to get a move done pretty soon. They're going to try for a move into turn 12 yet again. But at least this time they've managed to get through it without incident. Still stuck behind Panic Fungus, though.
Shensoi and Poofy Pillow battling once again. We'll see if Kagura Macho will be able to mount a pass here into turn 1 on Panic Fungus, losing a lot of time. In fact, that is basically, I believe, like 3 seconds down on their best lap time. So definitely hurting for pace.
Well, it looks like at least a few of these contenders have taken quite a few battle scars. I mean, look at the front of Mashiro's Lamborghini. That is definitely not fresh from the showroom.
Panic Fungus putting in an absolute amazing display of defense here, though it might not last for long. We'll see what Mashiro does here. Mashiro has to let off the gas. That'll let Poofy Pillow through.
Oh! how they managed to stick that, I have no idea, but I am forever thankful, and I bet these drivers exponentially so. Goodness me.
Panic Fungus. I don't know if Panic Fungus is actually panicking, because the defensive display they're putting on is absolutely immense as Mastro tries to put the move into the chicane. That's never going to happen, though.
I have to wonder, I think Mashiro has a significant pace advantage over the other 3 drivers within this 4-car battle, but like, there's almost nowhere where they can actually summon it and use it to get past these 3. At least not for certain, anyway.
Mastro's gonna try. That's really, really deep. And Mastro probably can lose the place to Chensoi. No, Mastro keeps that place, actually.
Probably a wise idea to not contest for that position from Chensoi. Mashiro taking the very wise decision to take their mandatory pit stop.
So that's gonna leave.
Don't want to get stuck in that battle for too much longer, because they were nearly 3 seconds a lap slower.
So it's gonna leave Poopy Pillow, Chensoi to battle with Panic Fungus. Panic Fungus. Oh, they nearly made contact once again and coming out of turn 1. Ooh. Oh no!
Oh no! Panic Fungus splitter just dinged the quarter panel of Poofy Pillow's R8. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was looking to be such a good battle too. Ah. Yeah, heat of the moment. Put it in a little too narrow. What can you do?
Yeah. Panic Fungus was just going a little too wide. Poofy Pillow was just trying to contest for that position. And once you're battling for it in the heated battle, you're not really expected to give a lot of room. I mean, that's just what racing is, and sometimes those incidents happen. And it's really unfortunate for Poofy Pillow. I'm sure that they will be able to gain the time back, though.
So I would like to point out that Icer Ambra has been slowly but surely reeling Amelia Anderson in. That gap has dropped from 2 seconds to just over 1 second. And it doesn't look like that gap is widening anytime soon. If anything, I think they're starting to close in.
You are definitely right. That gap was over 2 seconds and a half for Amelia Anderson to start the race, but now that is basically Icer ABR has chomped off a second in that Porsche. We'll see if they'll be able to keep it up. We'll go back to Akito Suzugawa. Akito Suzugawa also on the back of that other 296, the number 7 Kakurizaka Ferrari. So these battles are still not over. We'll go back to Panic Fungus and Chensoi at the moment, though.
So I'm kind of actually curious about something. I want to ask a question about your professional experience as a driver in other series within ACC. So, with Chensoi following Panic Fungus so closely here, do you think dirty air is a significant factor with these types of machines?
Dirty air can be a factor, definitely, but it's a lot about having to sort of optimize your exits and make sure you're not falling into the same traps the guy in front of you is making, or the person in front of you is making, rather. Because it's very easy to sort of just become a leech and sort of do the same mistakes that they do and sort of just stay in the back of them. Because the reason why you lose time to a car in front, even though they're much slower than you, is because they're just sort of breaking up your momentum out of the exits. For example, if you come out of like this turn, and if you just stay in the back of this car as Chensoi will try to make a move, but if you just right in the back.
Oh no,
no.
Chensoi! Oh no.
Oh, what's happened here? Oh, yeah.
Just misjudged it. I think Panic Fungus left plenty of room. It was just Just a little bit off, and that's significant damage to the front end of that Lamborghini. Oh, no.
That's really unfortunate. Shen's always having such a great race up to that point. As Panic Fungus has gone off as well. What's happened there?
I mean, they've been suffering what seems to be handling issues for most of this stint. So I'm wondering if they're just suffering through it even more right now. I mean, they've got a lot of damage on that car too, it looks like.
And Poopy Pillow will gain all that time back. In fact, Poopy Pillow is now ahead of Panic Fungus, so it's not all bad for that driver.
Looks like while that was happening, Akito Asuzagawa has served their mandatory stop.
They're now in the back of Raut Kate actually lets him past. So going back to what I was saying, it's very easy to sort of get caught up in the back of a car. You sort of just focus on getting past. However, on the exits, a slower car ahead of you will just, block your path. So you just have to find a way to make sure you maximize your speed in the exit so that you can sort of undeniably find a way and have that faster pace coming out of the exits than the car ahead of you, so that you don't keep on losing time. Because it's very easy to get caught up and just keep sort of like chomping on the back of a car and keep sort of getting your momentum broken up. It's all about momentum, I believe.
Looks like we've got a... Alright, no, that is Shenzoi coming into the pits for repairs. So at least they'll have gotten their mandatory stop out in a while, and looks like Jin Knight and Jordan Brunch. I believe that's Jordan Brunch.
Yes, it is. It is Jordan Brunch battling with Jin Knight, with Kagura Mushroom in the background to lap down. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! Jin Knight and Jordan Brunch have come together, and in a spectacular fashion. What on earth has happened there?
We're right on board with Jin Knight here. Jordan Brunch is in front of you in the Lexus. We'll see coming into this turn. Ooh, I'm not sure if Jin Knight was expecting. I'm not sure Jin Knight was expecting Jordan Brunch to slow down there, but that is a pretty bad dive into there.
Yeah, that was a little over-optimistic, I have to say.
Even if the car in front of you is slowing down a lot, it's still your responsibility to sort of get around, to not get into them. As I see, Kagura is in the pits. We'll see when Icer, ABR, and Amelia Anderson, the rest of the top four, will come in. Akito Suzugawa battling with Jordan Brunch. This might be pretty easy for him, however. Ooh, Jordan Brunch. Ooh, that was very close to making contact. Though I'm sure Jordan Brunch will let Akito pass without too much of a fight here. Akito Suzugawa making his way towards the front as they're lapping Imran once again. Imran sort of struggling in this race, however, I have to applaud them for keeping on. Imran just lets him pass. No harm, no foul. Panic Fungus into the pits as well. Probably very much expected with all the damage that they had. Kagura way back there, actually. In fact, Kagura has lost a lot of time to Suzugawa. About like 3 seconds, I want to say. So
must be an ill-timed pit stop here. Getting caught in all that traffic.
They're caught behind Jordan Brunch. And they are just hemorrhaging time. Kagura just trying to find a way past. Finally, but that is very close as they nearly made contact. But Kagura has lost about 5 seconds to Akito Suzugawa, so Akito probably all the way, probably made his way back to third position, safe and sound. We'll see if Kagazaka will be able to make up the gap into this race, into the final half of this race. But Akito Suzukawa probably patting himself on the back, nailing that pit stop.
A rare physical aggressive move from Kagurazaka. She's usually cool as a cucumber, but I think right now she's burning as hot as a volcano right about now.
Definitely, you definitely don't want to be stuck behind that truck for too long. Amelia Anderson getting past Wyatt Natus. The lap cars, Icer APR is the next car out of the top 4 to take a pit stop, so that will leave Amelia Anderson, the final one, to not have taken a pit stop yet. We'll see where Icer ABR stands after all this. Akito Suzukawa, the leading car after the cycles. We'll see if Icer ABR will be able to leap across Akito.
Well, Icer Ambra was in front of Suzukawa before they pit in, so it'll be a matter of whether or not that extra time they spent out was worth it.
We'll go to Helicom and show you the map. Akito Suzukawa in the number 56 car. So keep an eye on that dot on the map. Not many cars ahead of him. ICRB are down on the jacks and on their way. That's going to be a kind of sizable gap. As ABR goes wide, you definitely don't want to do that on your outlap.
Those tires do be cold, though.
Jordan Bunch into the pits now as well. So Akito Suzukawa about 5 seconds behind Icer APR, so Icer APR feeling pretty safe as well from the Mirai United VTuber Racing Team driver. We'll see when Amelia Anderson decides to jump into the pits. And
let's have a
wide.
review of the standing, shall we? As we see Senshoi run wide.
So, at the moment, during pit cycles, we have Amelia Anderson in first place, Psycho Kaiza in second place, Blanc Ryuzaki in the third spot, Icer ABR after pitting in fourth, Akito Suzukawa in fifth, Yukari Kagurazaka in the sixth position, Aviro Katse in the seventh position, Pillow in eighth, White Natus in ninth, Jordan Bunch in 10th, though in pits at the moment, Jin Knight in 11th, Kagura Mashiro in 12th, Panic Fungus in 13th, as we see, oh no, White Natus in 9th has gone around. We'll keep going on the standings out. Chensoi in 14th, oh that's a lot of damage. Chatsune Integrale 15th, Ahmed Imran 16th, Ryumi Tatayama 17th, iMagic's VTuber at 18th, out of all the running cars. As you see on the replay, Wyatt Natus has a lot of damage on that front end.
Yeah, that's not going to be good for aerodynamics. There's probably going to be a lot of suspension damage. The steering's probably not too happy about what's just happened. Yeah, they're going to be stuck in the garage for a while, I think.
We'll check back on Amelia Anderson. Not taking her pit stop yet. Definitely going a long way. We'll see if that is the strategy as Jin Knight is battling with, I believe, that Jordan Bunch once again. Hopefully this time it's a lot cleaner. So this is probably not this part of the track you want to make passes on. Jin Knight has lost a lot of time, actually. Lost about half a second. I mean, not half a second. Well, yeah, half a second. My bad. In that whole sector. We'll see if they are able to make it back up. White Natus into the pits, as we expected. A lot of damage on that 488.
Jin Knight seems to have a bit of a pace advantage when they're in clean air, but they cannot find a real way past Jordan Brunch here.
And it looks like Blanc Ryuzaki has jumped into the pit, so that will be another driver cycling out and giving Aiser Ibira and Akito Suzugawa the positions. And Akito Suzugawa has just put in his fastest lap of the race, a 144.292. So that is faster than anybody has gone today. About, I want to say, 5/10 faster. So Akito is definitely flying right now. As you see, Jin Knight trying to make a move on Jordan Brunch for that 9th position. Here at this part of the track again where they have made contact. Hopefully this time they'll be a lot cleaner about it.
Jordan Brunch looking like a big bunch as Jin Knight fails to get past.
The part of the track where it's single file once again, so you're not going to be making any passes unless the guy in front of you, the person in front of you, my mistake, goes really wide and makes a big, dire mistake. Unfortunately for Jin Knight, that is not what Jordan Brunch is going to do. Jordan Brunch is going to keep tight on that 9th position. Jin Knight looking on the inside. Afterwards, not really much that they can do there.
They lose so much time going for that move in turn 12. I'm wondering if that's actually the move to go for when up against Brunch in particular at this immediate moment.
Either way, Jin Knight is right on the back of that Lexus, so we're going to see if they will sort of fan out and try and make a dive into turn 1. That might be their best position to do so. Not quite, actually. That's very surprising.
Perhaps the Lexus has a straight line speed advantage that's just enough for the Ferrari to not be able to capitalize on here, which is probably why they're trying so hard to force a move either at the beginning or the end of Sector 2.
But those sectors of the track are definitely the hardest to make a pass on, so it's basically stuck between a rock and a hard place, though Jin Knight has somehow found a way to get side by side here. Maybe making a pass on the chicane. This is going to be kind of messy if they do. Not quite, as Amelia Anderson is into the pit, so we'll see where she cycles out. However, we will keep it you'll keep it on this battle for 9th. So the rest of the cars that have not pitted yet are Psycho Kaiser, David Otskatse, and Poofy Pillow. Amin Imran as well, though they are not in much of contention. So we'll see how far those drivers will go. Ooh, Jordan Brunch with a great defensive move there. Not letting Jin Knight pass at all, even in the stronger points of the track for the Ferrari.
Yeah, Jordan Brunch has proven to be quite a bit more than just a handful to deal with for Jin Knight. He's going to have to be a real lancer of a driver if he wants to get that position.
We'll see where IceJBR actually is about to catch Amelia Anderson. This might be closer than we expected. As IceJBR has set a blazing time. That's a 144 flat for them. Sorry. That is a tremendous amount of time being gained by IceJBR. So we'll see if IceJBR will be able to close the gap here.
It looks like Amelia might also be held up by a few lapped vehicles as well.
Definitely, as I believe that is the battle for 9th between Jordan Brunch and Jin Knight. Jin Knight looks like they have gotten past. We might have missed that.
Well, this battle for the lead, or the potential battle for the lead, could very much be very important here. So Amelia Anderson's getting really held up here.
Yeah,
Mr. Abra is just reeling her in from this moment of vulnerability.
Yeah, there's not a lot of places to pass here in this next part of the track, as, oh, this is really sketchy. Oh, I don't know if I like this. She's lost a lot of time there, actually, but Icer ABR has the same problem. We'll see how they get past here. And Ron diving into the pits.
I have no idea how Anderson got through without significant incident. Very good heads-up driving from pretty much all three involved in that.
Unfortunately, Icer ABR is just a second away from closing the gap on Amelia Anderson, so that's a lot of time lost. However, now Icer ABR has to deal with Jordan Bunch themselves, and it looks like Amelia is stuck between another Ferrari. Oh no! Ooh, I'm not sure if I like that either.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that one. Like, in single class championships, you do have to let the competitor behind you through at some point, but I think Icer ABR could have afforded to wait just a little bit more.
Yeah, that is not a good decision from that driver at all, as Akito Suzukawa managed to get past Jordan Bunch without too much of a hit. Jordan Bunch actually tries to make a move to the inside. Oh, that was very close. Too close for comfort, maybe. Maybe Jordan Bunch trying to get their bearings back. But oh my goodness, what a race this has been so far. Jin Knight way out the way, probably seeing what Jordan Bunch got themselves into, was thinking, nope, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, if I were in their position, I certainly would not have liked the look of the shenanigans going on in the rear view cameras.
So that is Icer ABR losing a lot of time once again to Emily Anderson. So Emily Anderson, I believe, actually, no, does not have clear track in front of her. Actually, no, never mind that. She does have clear track. Blah. Well, it's best to look, actually see. Yes, that is a lapped car. I believe that's iMenchik's VTuber ahead of her, so that is another lapped car to deal with. I believe that is the only one for a while, though, so we'll see how that goes. Icer ABR will see if the pace has diminished with that damage that they have suffered from getting into Jordan Bunch. Oh no!
Oh no! Amelia Anderson pointing the wrong way! What on earth has happened?
Oh, right in front of Jordan Bunch too. Oh my god. Oh, Psycho Kaiser. I don't know who that is actually of the Lexus, but either one of the Lexus. Oh no! Oh my goodness.
No. Oh, that's just unfortunate. Oh no.
It looks like iMenchik's VTuber just got loose and Amelia just had nowhere to go. Fortunately, Amelia Anderson has not lost a lot of spots, but oh, that is, I mean, when you lose the most important position, which is the lead, to something that is just out of your control, that's just the worst. Oh my goodness.
I think iMenchik was just trying to stay out of the way, but unfortunately, they probably tried a little too hard to stay out of the way, clipped the grass, and that was it. They got sent to the Shadow Realm for that.
Yeah, you see, it's good to let the cars by, but you need to do it in a very careful manner as well. You can't just go as far out into the grass. You have to really, like, if you're not in a good spot to let the other driver pass, you just have to let the leader make. I mean, it is the leader's responsibility to get around you in these cases. You can't just force these, like, situations. Unless, and like, if you do it wrong, then stuff like that happens. So we'll look at first position now. That is Icer ABR in the lead. Probably not the way that they wanted to get the lead, but they are in the lead, and this might be their moment to shine here.
As long as they can stay the course, this could be very much a potential victory on their hands, but as I said, stranger things have happened, and the first stranger thing has just happened, so they're going to have to hang on tight, because Suzukawa could very much close the gap here.
as Imran got loose in front of, actually Imran spun it in front of Asuzugawa. That might have slowed Asuzugawa down, so that is probably a relief for ABR. Actually, Akito got into the rear of Imran.
No. Oh no! Oh no, not like this!
So it's a very bad day to be lap traffic.
This venue is not exactly ideal if you're the one being lapped. I have to wonder how anyone does multi-class racing here, if anyone in fact does. Goodness me.
And there's a car stopped at the exit of the last turn. We'll have to see where that is. Oh, that is right on the racing line. That is Wyatt Natus.
Yeah, if someone else spun there, that would have been a disaster waiting to happen. Unfortunately, I think Natus has retired that machine.
That might have been too much damage for that 48 to handle. As somebody else has gone pretty wide. I'm not sure who that is. I don't know if that was... I believe that was actually Jin Knight that's gone wide, but looks like Yukari Kaguruzaka is actually struggling at the later half of this race. Not really gaining much time on Amelia Anderson, despite the big accident that Amelia Anderson got into with iMetric's VTuber. I believe the other retired car that I was missing was actually Aaron Vogel, so unfortunately for Aaron Vogel, they are out of this race.
Lithium Fox's squad has not had a good day.
We'll take a look back at here for this battle for position. Not last, though it is. Though, I mean, ooh, iMetric's VTuber gets a little squirrely. But I mean, any position counts, and this is the battle for 16th between Ahmed Imran and iMetric's VTuber. Actually, 16th, mind you. My timing and scoring screen is going a little haywire. Another battle here between Tratzeni Integrale and Chensoi. This might be Integrale's best result yet.
Yeah, though I'm sure Trazione would have wanted a much better result, but you gotta take what you get.
They believe Chensoi is actually getting lapped by Blanc Ryozaki and another car. I'm not sure which car that is. We'll take a look at Kagura Mashiro again. Made an impression in the early stage race, maybe for the wrong reasons, but they're back in 10th place. So a good recovery from this driver.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a good recovery so far, but they're not out of the woods just yet.
As Kagurazaka is around!
What on earth has happened there?
Right in front of Jordan Brunch. We'll see into this replay. So for a second, might have been into this corner. No, actually. Very interesting. Just lost it, actually, afterwards. Probably got into curb and just... Probably just not a lot of grip in that curb as they get right in front of Burner Brunch. Not an ideal way to enter the track, but unfortunately nothing's happened there. As Mashiro now into the back of Poofy Pillow really quickly. Mashiro trying to make the move into this penultimate corner, into the final corner, side by side with the 38 car. Mashiro on the outside. Poofy Pillow is able to make the inside work, though can Mashiro get the better exit? I believe that they can. No, they're gonna stay right behind Poofy Pillow.
I'm not so sure about that. Mashiro is making moves here, switching them lanes, going deep, and Poofy is gonna go poof.
And there's another yellow flag for Amelia Anderson. What's happened here? We'll see. I believe that's Ryoma Tateyama that she is lapping. Oh, just got over that curb, just nearly lost it. A good recovery from Amelia, but just not her day today. Not exactly the way that she wanted it to pan out.
And we can't exactly blame Tateyama either. That was just... They were stuck in an awkward position with nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's very easy to get unsettled in that curve, especially going downhill. That's just, you know, it's just a big compression, and you're basically bottoming out the car there. It's a lot to ask of the suspension. As you see...
Grand Touring cars are not exactly known for having a lot of suspension travel.
As you see, Poofy Pillow actually is right on the back of Mastro once again. I'm not sure what's going on with Mastro, but... Or maybe Poofy Pillow's found some pace. But this battle's still not over.
Do we have a potential battle unfolding right in front of this group here?
We might. As Poofy Pillow has gone around, they will carry on, but a lot of time lost to that 9th place car. Now, I believe that is a lap car. I believe that Jordan Buncher is a lap car. Kagurazaka is a lap ahead.
I stand corrected then.
AG Radium saying that Amelia Anderson's livery is crazy, and I think it's more than crazy. Maybe a bit, well, insane, to say the least.
Let's just say some of the references take me back a few, more than a few years. We'll say, like, at least a decade. Man, I'm old.
Definitely a decade. Actually, it's been a decade. Because if you go back 10 years, that's 2013. Oh dear.
Please don't ever remind me of that ever again.
I'll try not to, because there is a battle here brewing for 8th position between Kagura Mashiro and Jordan Brunch. Kagura Mashiro has basically diminished that gap already. Kagura Mashiro is flying here.
Well, if there's definitely not something to doubt, it's Mashiro's pace. They've got a significant pace advantage over Jordan Brunch, but it's one... You know the old cliche in motorsports. It's one thing to catch somebody, it's an entirely different task to get the job done and pass them.
Especially with Jordan Brunch, because we've seen Jordan Brunch mount an amazing defensive display throughout the course of this race. So it's going to be interesting to see how Kagura Mashiro gets around him.
Yeah, Jordan Brunch has definitely shown that they've got diversity in defense. A very castle strategy type defense, I would say.
Mashiro first has to get towards the back of that Lexus. However, Jordan Brunch is doing a good job keeping up the pace. Bit of sparks flying from that RCF going uphill.
That a sign of aggressive setup, or perhaps just a trait of aggressive driving for that sector?
Maybe a bit of both, as they get past the chicane here, coming into the sector, where you can only really go single file. It's all about momentum, all about rhythm here. We'll see who has the most rhythm, as Masha looks like has gone wide entering that sort of complex, so they'll lose a lot of time. We'll see if they'll gain it back. Maybe a little bit of time gained back. We've seen Masho dive really deep here, so this might be part of the track where Masho is the strongest, and we'll be able to gain that gap and sort of put a dent in that gap. Ooh, a little bit wide, making a bit of a correction, no doubt losing a bit of time. So maybe back to square one for this driver? Actually, no. It looks like Jordan has actually made a bit of a mistake there as well. So Masha may be thinking they're in passing range, though I doubt that you can make a pass from this distance. Masha wants to prove me wrong.
I think Brunch was kind of egging them on, and iMentrix VTuber has taken a drive-through penalty.
They gone from bad to worse for iMentrix VTuber, but going back to Mashiro and Brunch, it's just, you know, it's just blow for blow between these two. As Shensoi's around, I don't see any damage on that car, so thankfully they're able to keep on going. As pit window is closed, that means there is only 5 minutes remaining in this race, so not a lot of time for Mashiro to make their move, as well as the top runners to make up their gaps.
Mashiro whoa! Jordan Brunch got absolutely slideways, and Mashiro tried to force their way through, and that was just not happening.
That was definitely not happening. We'll see if Mashiro can make that time back up again, though. That is a lot of precious time lost to the car just in front of these two. Jin Knight. Jin Knight probably just breathing a sigh of relief in that 7th position. The two Lopin cars actually 6th and 7th, so a good result for Lopin Esports. Not a good sign, however, for Kagura Mashiro, which they probably want a bit more than 8th position. But at the moment, it's probably what they're going to have to settle for.
Well, it looks like there's about 3 laps left. Oh! Mashiro trying to go around the outside. My friend, this is not Daytona. I don't think that works.
It's a bit of an optimistic move. I can kind of credit them for trying, but, you know, I mean, it's... Let's just say it's a little optimistic. This battle won't... Still not letting up, though. Mashiro probably fuming. Probably just wanting to get past this big old Lexus already. But Jordan Brunch still keeping that Lexus in 8th position. A great job, once again. As Mashiro really messes up that chicane section. So that's going to be even more time to make up.
Mashiro's got to reel this back in. They cannot afford to make mistakes through Sector 2. It is absolutely imperative that they maintain momentum through there. Yeah, sure, they're making it up through turns 12 and 13, but if they're going to actually get the move done, they need to nail Sector 2.
Sector 2 is where Jordan Brunch seems like they are the strongest. Or at least, if they are not strong at Sector 2, Mashiro is very weak in Sector 2. So, if it's either one of those, like, well, in either case, Mashiro is going to have to improve in Sector 2. And we go back to the beginning of the broadcast. Sector 2 is such an important part of the track. It's a single file sort of rhythm momentum part of the track where you just really have to be perfect. It's like a Monaco part. It's a lot like Monaco, in fact, where it's not exactly walls next to you, but I mean, in terms of like pace, it's just as important. It feels that way.
Mashiro definitely nibbles away at the gap between them and Brunch in sectors 1 and 3, but given how much time they've lost, I should say it should be a surprise that they've not gotten through, but it's looking to become more and more of a pattern. They keep trying to look for a move into the entry of Sector 2, and it's just like, yeah, this ain't happening.
It's definitely not happening, and as they try to do it again here coming into chicane, but it's just, yeah, again, it's just not happening. We'll see if they're able to keep it mounted on the back of that Lexus here. Looks like it's a lot better than the previous laps. As Icer ABR is on their way to the final lap, and potentially their first win ever in the VTuber GT series. But we'll keep it here on this battle. Mashiro is a lot closer this time round. Mashiro nearly getting to the back of that Lexus. You don't want to do that.
That was very close, but thankfully they managed to keep off of each other.
Mashiro is going to have to once again gain that time back. Well, only one more time to do it here. As I believe their Succubus Racing teammate Eister ABR in the lead in the final lap, 4 seconds clear of Akito Suzukawa just about. So on their way to the final, to their first victory in the VTuber GT series. If they can keep it clean, I don't know if that was gonna work, Mashiro.
I mean, Brunches suddenly become an absolute wall of Lexus right here.
There's a lap car. I believe that's iMenchik's VTuber in the way. We'll see if that. No! Oh no!
And Mashiro has gone off, and I think that's going to promote Poofy Pillow up to position 9.
So we'll go back to the lead. Eister, Ambra. Their first win ever, once again, as I say here, at Hungarian. A tremendous job from this driver. Take a bow. It might have happened not in a way that they were expecting, but that's still a win regardless. Akito Suzukawa in second, Emilie Anderson with bad luck in third place, still on the podium however. Yukari Kagurazaka just missing out after that spin. A really uncharacteristic race for them as they go wide, really wide to that final corner, but they will hold on onto that fourth place. Saiko Kaiza just behind in fifth place, not really contested I think. Blanc Ryozaki about to cross the line in sixth here. We'll see if anybody else is battling for position. Jin Knight crosses the line in 7th. I believe that is the race car about to be a lap down. Jordan Brunch in 8th, keeping that 8th position after the mistake that Kagura Mashiro made. Pillow in 9th, promoted position. Kagura Mashiro unfortunately losing that battle after spinning out at the top of the hill. So that'll be 10th position for them. Gabriel Katse making their way out to 11th. Shensoi as well, making their way towards the finish in 12th. Penafungus crossed the line in 13th. Trazzani Integrale in 14th. In the wall there with Tateyama in 15th. Not sure what happened there. Imran in 16th. And iMenchik's VTuber in 17th. Bonk Ryozaki finally crosses the line. Shensoi, the final one to do so here. Congratulations to Eister ABR. The first win for them.
Yeah, in a very topsy-turvy race for those both in the midfield and for those in the front. This was... I don't think VR was expecting to win this one. I mean, they were not the fastest car today.
Eister ABR was nearly the fastest car. However, just... wow. I am really surprised at this result. I felt like Amelia was definitely going to keep it towards the end, but just really unlucky incident there with I believe it was iMenchik's VTuber there, and you know, I mean, it happens. It's racing, but it's really unfortunate. But you know, in the end, it's a driver who keeps themselves out of trouble, whether it's their fault or not. So, Eister ABR definitely just really thankful for it.
As I've said, stranger things can happen in this series, and tonight was a good display of that.
Just what a wonderful race we had here today. Just, where do we even start for this?
I mean, there was a lot of battling up and down the midfield, and there was quite a bit of intrigue with the pit strategy for the top 4. I think we were expecting Anderson to run away with this one, given the early lead they pulled, but wrong place, wrong time, and that was GG's.
It was definitely GG's. Definitely GG's. I just don't really have much to say anymore on this race. I'm out of breath.
I mean, this was definitely an entertaining race, as this series always puts on, even at a track that's reputed to not put on such shows. Well, I guess when you put this group anywhere, they'll always put on a good show.
Green light, show them what you got.
Sorry for the broadcast confusion, but we're just sort of like, not much we could do with ACC, just sort of cutting out into another session. But with that, thank you so much for watching. Once again, around tracc.eu, there's definitely a lot more happening than just VTuber GT. We have tracc.eu, tracc.GT, I believe. What's the name of it again? I can't really remember. Yes, tracc.GT, happening every other Saturday that VTuber GT is not going on, or everybody else, every other sim racer. We also have, I believe, what's the other one called? We have a Touring Masters League happening on Tuesdays, I believe. Do correct me if I'm wrong. I am not medicated at the moment, so I cannot remember much at the top of my head. So I might be a little messy. I'm only powered on Red Bull at the moment. And also, VTuber Le Mans is coming to Circuit of the Americas in August. We will definitely be promoting that again in the next round. But just to remind everybody that VTuber Le Mans is definitely happening August at COTA. So, without further ado, thank you for watching. And as always, we will see you on the racetrack. Bye from me and June.
See ya!